that suck, but also whatever cooks. But if you give us too much shit, we'll just get pissed off and quit. So don't do it. It's time for Marvel Comics Spotlight Show, telling you everything that we know. It's time for Marvel Comics Spotlight Show. Let's go. Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Marvel Comics podcast. And I am joined by my man, Matt. What up, Matt?
What up, Jim?
Matt is on vacation. Not vacation, it's a
Work trip.
Work trip. Where the hell are you again? You did tell me. Boston. You're in Boston. You can go see Sully. He's probably hanging out. Just listen to somebody yelling about no strong male characters in comics, and you'll find them. And by the way, as a little bit of under the table talk, wink, wink, the Apollo has landed. I don't know if you'll know what I'm saying, but we were talking about something having problems. It no longer has problems. So I wanted to tell you that real quick. People are like, what the hell are you guys talking about? We actually started before and you got disconnected. So if Matt ends up disconnecting a bit, we'll blame Paris Hilton because he's in a Hilton
Hilton Hotel. Yeah.
Yep, you're there in Boston.
Doubletree.
Did you end up going anywhere? Like, did you go to see where the Cheers bar or anything like that?
No, we went to downtown today and spent about an hour there and left. Too much traffic.
You didn't get beat up or anything?
No.
Oh, that's because you're not Asian. Oh my goodness. That's what I hear about Boston. And all I hear is Marky Mark. He ended up beating up an Asian guy. So he's from Boston. That's all I know. Tom Brady around. But here we are for one book. I have not heard from Gray. So I don't know if we're going to be continuing, but at least we'll have the big book of the week. It is Punisher #1. It's a red band issue. I guess I said this the first time we recorded and it didn't record. The idea that this red band nonsense, I don't know. You didn't need it. We get it. It's Punisher. You want to be more violent. But this is a big book. I mean, Punisher coming back with what hopefully most people will say is the real Frank Castle Punisher. Mm-hmm. That's enough for me. I don't need, the couple extra heads cleaved off or Tombstone, getting body parts. And I'm not talking about working in a chop shop, even though it is pretty much a chop shop, but a human one. I don't know. It just feels like you're trying too hard at that point.
To me, the red band's like a half-ass Marvel Max that used to exist.
And you get, you throw out the red band for something like, Werewolf by Night by Taboo. Throw that so that maybe you get a couple extra people, but this should be.
You don't need it for this.
More to the mass, and it is funny because the debacle that we had with Jason Aaron, a lot of people were upset for all different reasons. I was upset with what they did with Frank Castle Punisher because most of the story sucked balls. Is why I didn't like it.
Was that the ninja one?
Yeah. Well, and he was the part of the hand, and then it was against Daredevil, and then it combined into that nonsense. We also had the Joe Garrison one earlier by David Pepose, which was terrible. That was just awful. And I see this is what happens when something's coming out and you're reviewing it. And you're like, this sucks, right? You're going, and then people, anybody I talk to, I'll take your word for it. I didn't read it. Oh, I'm not reading it. I couldn't find anybody but me and actually Zach. I think he stopped reviewing Marvel because of that. But we ended up where couldn't find one person who read it. Then afterwards, 2 years later, all I hear is, man, that was underrated. I was rated. Like, no, it wasn't. It shouldn't have been rated at all. It shouldn't have existed. It was freaking terrible. It was really, really bad. But then people, they start to loosen up a bit. They're like, I don't know. That was pretty good. And maybe because of them, what happened with Frank, and he gets killed, and he's there, and he's the spiritual leader of the hand. It was all nonsense. It was really, really bad. So when we get to this, I just want a fresh start. I wish Eric was here to say it. But in the meantime, this is kind of weird because it doesn't really tell you what had happened. It kind of throws you in. And I'm telling you, a lot of people bailed on that Jason Aaron nonsense. So you just kind of go in. And then when you get to the end, I'm like, okay, well, a lot of the really cool parts weren't dealing with Frank. and it deals with Tombstone and Kingpin, which you already told me when we were, getting ready to record, and I agree that I don't need Tombstone and Kingpin and everything.
Yeah, they're in
Tombstone's
everything.
in Amazing Spider-Man as he would be, and Kingpin at one point, X-Men stuff, and then he's coming back, but it just felt weird. I'm just guessing that at one point you'll completely have, because remember, Tombstone is the Kingpin, but Kingpin's back. But that's why he says at the end here where he's going to do it a little different, whatever. I'm like,
is Wilson not the mayor anymore? I didn't remember
and
that.
that's the thing I was going to say. No, and because he left, he ended up getting on that ship
during X-Men stuff.
Mary right before at the end of the stuff with Chip Zdarsky, where he's like, "Hey, are you coming with me?" And she's like, "No," and he just sayonara sucker and went away on that ship for a while, and then suddenly was in the X-Men. I didn't read that stuff, so I don't know what the hell it is. What it look like, Jason and his macaroons. But we'll get into this here. It's the second time.
And his beer or mead or whatever he's drinking.
I guess it was probably me and Gray on the Patreon talking. Usagi Yojimbo might have been, or it might have been the Absolute, but I was talking about Jason and that beer fest nonsense.
Yeah.
Or it might have been the Batman. We did so many things last week, but the idea where he showed a picture and there was all these different crazy beers, which I'm not a guy who drinks, but I'm sitting there, I'm looking, it's like one guy seemed to be making them all. It's like this Kevin guy, and I'm like, I don't trust that guy. He seems to be overloading things. But
was he around this week, or Ruben did it solo? What did he do?
Ruben did solo.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll be, when we're done this, I got to get off my ass and edit some shit. Ruben sent me one. Well, Ruben too, I don't know. He might verify it after hearing this. I got a couple messages from Ruben, who was like, did he ask you to do it and you were gone?
No, I think he realizes I'm not reading any of that stuff anymore.
So he's like that. So he says, he keeps messaging me. Yep, I got to do it by myself this week. I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
Does he want you to do it?
And then I'm telling you 2 hours later, man, I don't know if I can do it alone. It's pretty tough. I'm like, yep, it is. And then like a day later, he writes, man, I'm going to start recording. I don't really like doing it alone. I'm like, listen, I ain't doing it with you. You're on your own, buddy. And then he did right afterwards. He said, oh, it sucks recording by yourself. And I agree. I used to do things. I did at one point a bunch of the Marvel stuff alone. I'm at the point now, which people will realize this week over at the DC side of things with the Absolute stuff, that I refuse to record alone anymore. I just don't do it.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
I know anybody can do it, but it just isn't fun. It ends up where it's just, even when I have to record the intro and outro by myself, I won't do it until said. That's when the thing doesn't come out until late.
Yeah, you're like, this thing's coming out Saturday. Oh, wait, Sunday night. Yeah, Jim's doing it alone.
Because I had to do this 10 minutes alone, and I'm just like, this sucks. But here's the Punisher, #1. Did I read the credits yet?
No.
Benjamin Percy writing, Julius Oda on art, Yen Nitro. One of the coolest names ever, and yes, indeed, might have been an American ninja / one of those crazy deal American gladiators. Yes, Yen Nitro. That's pretty cool. He should be Cash Money Nitro, but he's going Japanese with the yen. VC's Corey Petit on letters. So we do have, as we said, a Red Band deal. The art's pretty good. I like the art. There's some big panels. It's not detailed, heavy detail, but boy, it's red. I'll tell you that. The Cash Money Nitro is kicking in with the reds. But you end up at this beginning, and it's all narration, so it just reads very quick. Yep. And the narration isn't very long. And Ben Percy, I'm not going to say that he's dumb. He isn't. I've heard him talk. The guy has a real deep voice and would probably kick my ass. But the idea where he's not a pretentious writer in my mind.
No.
He usually just gives you the basics. And that's, again, just to, verify the whole deal. I kind of like Ben Percy, but I don't love him. He's usually like a 7.75 out of 10 for me, like that range overall. But I've never really hate the stuff. It's just that eventually I get bored with it. That's my biggest complaint with Ben Percy, is sometimes it's a bit boring. This is an okay start.
Well, that and the body horror. I mean, there's a lot of that in this too. I mean,
and the weird thing is,
it's a very common theme with this guy.
Like legit, body horror to me is I take off my shirt and I get love handles and I go, oh my goodness, like that. I'm telling you, I am the worst to actually define body horror. Like body horror to me is either like you see something where teeth are in areas that you really don't want them to be in, but the idea of like ripping somebody's like, chest open, that's just straight up action things to me. But I guess that's body horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of, I guess.
He's shoving dead bodies into a suitcase or whatever he's doing. So
I'm waiting for Simon. Probably will yell at us because he'll know the definition of body horror, and he'll say, "Remember, he was in the Slack yelling that nobody knows what cost my car is," and he got in a fight with
Semantic Simon.
It. Yeah. I'm going to call him that tomorrow. That'll be pretty good. That'll be pretty good. I got to talk some nonsense books with him, but it's very bloody. Again, I'll go back to the red band thing. It's the Punisher, so you're going to have some violence. You would want it to. I think that number one, they announced that it's red band so that people say, finally, we're going to get Frank doing some violent things. But the other thing, though, that gets me is if me and you are going to write the X-Men, right? They say, Jed McKay, you stink. And we're going to write it and we're going to have a story. We'd have a story in mind. The minute that they then tell us it's red band, we're obviously going to have to change some things because you want to take advantage or you want to be able to make it the red. So I think you go over the top for no reason at all. I think that you just do it because it's red band. And I think that this is not anything that it doesn't accentuate.
Remember the Blood Hunt issues? We would read them and then we would look at the red band and see the differences.
Yeah.
That's what this needs. It should be something different.
Yeah. Yeah, but you just have this. So,
and is every issue going to be red band or just the first one?
No, I think it's the series.
What?
So I don't know. I think it's in like
so every issue comes in a bag.
Poly bag.
It comes in a bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
You buy that and walk out of the store, and people are going to think you were at the adult world.
You don't even
think that you got Hustler.
Can you even see the cover, or is it a black bag? Or
I guess it's a black bag.
I guess I got to look at these comic shops.
I don't know. I think I've sooner bought a dirty magazine that was in some cover than I bought it. I don't think I've ever bought a red band comic, so I have no idea. But again, I get all digital. It'd be funny you get it digital and it somehow is in a bag. It's remember, digitally a bag that you have to take off.
Playboy used to come in like a black bag, right?
Because you couldn't have Samantha Fox showing her boobs to the mailman, or he's going to keep it. I did tell Eric at one point that I think that they ended up covering those up because the mailmen would get off and they didn't like it. So you end up where Frank, he's waking up, he's on a boat. He ends up almost Born Identity kind of deal of the idea where he knows what this gun does and he knows that he wants to do this and he's going to do that. It's a weird start to end up having this whole play where he's there and he's going to take down these bad guys, even though he doesn't really know they're bad, but they're on a ship with fentanyl. I told you then, and once you have this fire going on, that shit's going to be in the air. They're all dead. That stuff is so
the fumes,
bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're so, again, I make the joke, but the idea that shit will kill you if you touch it. There are police officers that end up getting involved, that they end up where somebody's ODing, they accidentally touch it for a second, and they're ODing. Everybody's ODing.
You probably feel pretty good for a couple seconds, and then...
I don't know. I wouldn't know. There's some people in the cells I could ask, but they're not here right now. Legit, I could ask. In the meantime, I say this as a man who's never really done illicit drugs like this, but lives in a town that is known to just have. I walk outside sometimes and there'll just be people dying across the street. They'll just be ODing. Now, recently, I will tell you that if you ask me, I think fentanyl is made to weed these people up because there isn't as many now. They're all dead. There's a lot of people that I know through other people that are no longer around because of fentanyl. So it's crazy. But the idea of throwing it in there, it's kind of topical. So you end up where Frank, but he opens up this deal and sees it. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to blow it up, all that stuff. And he's just ripped through these people. And then he blows up this boat and, shoots it and goes down. I mean, this is half the issue, is just narration about Frank not really knowing things, but knowing things, doing what Punisher would do. But the whole play would be, who is he doing it for? And that's what we get to find out a little bit later. But he jumps off the boat and he just goes underwater. And it looks like he dies. I mean, it looks like he stops even trying to breathe underwater, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like the water goes in his lungs. And
so we'll see how this is and what's going on, and maybe the continuation of the stuff that happened before. But then you go and you get the credits page, and then you go to First Reformed Church, Queens, New York, and you have a priest who's going to take some confession. I don't know why I thought it was just going to be Frank that he kind of got there, but it's Kingpin. And you're going to have Kingpin and Tombstone in this. Obviously, these two are going to be battling, and obviously you want to show that they're really badass. The problem is I think they're more badass than Frank, and that might be a bit of a weird play. But you have Kingpin who's talking to this priest, and the guy's like, hey, well, when was the last time you did confession? Well, don't really do that. I'm kind of new to this, but look under your seat. There's a gun there, and I want you to put it in your mouth. And by the way, we ended up finding stuff out about you. And I love the idea that he's not going to be arrested immediately. He's going to be arrested tomorrow. They ended up deciding that this guy who traffics everybody known to man, the guy, we'll get to him tomorrow during, business hours. And Kingpin said, maybe you'll want to just do yourself in. To me, I don't know why he's doing this. I really don't. I know it's a badass thing, but why would he? That just
why is he there
guy.
bothering this
guy?
That
legit helps the guy. The guy gets to go out on his own terms. This bullshit. This guy's trafficked tons of kids, people, says men, women, children, all that. Don't give him the benefit. Have him go to jail and have him, the real comeuppance happen. But he lets this guy go.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking that maybe there isn't anything going on, but obviously the guy has done something, so he knows it. But it's like it's Kingpin kind of going still, and this is where I think there's a bit of a disconnect with what had happened before. When Kingpin left, he was being very religious. The big thing was religion, and he found religion. Remember, that's why he left, and that's why Tombstone ended up in that gang war, ends up where he becomes Tombstone or Kingpin. But Kingpin's there, and I guess he's still like a angel of vengeance. He's going to take it out on, these priests and whatnot. This guy does end himself. So he ends. It's a crazy scene. I think that you're kind of going, it's not the most badass scene we've seen with when Kingpin flipped out in that Zdarsky Daredevil, when he was at the Stromwinds' house and killed their brother, was one of the most vicious things, because it had led from him being treated like shit too much, and they were talking shit, and he couldn't take it. That was awesome. This just feels a little bit...
I've seen this kind of stuff
That's
before.
what I'm saying. It just feels like that over the top. And it feels like you have Ben Percy, who's watched a lot of 70s and 80s, like action movies and things like that, and that's what he's going for, the feel, which he kind of does.
Dirty Harry or something.
Yeah, like that, or, stuff with, I was thinking like Steven Seagal, Above the Law.
Yeah.
Like something like that. And it was a pretty good movie.
Yep.
But, and then he went wacko. But then you get this where I'm like, okay, it's okay. But like you said, it didn't feel like, oh my God, I've never seen that. Oh my God, that's so crazy.
We just thought it was going to be Frank, but it was actually Kingpin.
Yeah. And once it's Kingpin and he does this, it almost plays out, oh yeah, that's what Kingpin does.
But why is he doing it? Just messing with this guy?
I think it's
what's
that
his motivation?
He wants to clean up the things, and because this guy's a priest, maybe it's that religious thing. He doesn't really say.
Yeah.
He just ends up doing this. In the meantime, there's, a gang war being set up again, and he's busy making this, priest off himself. It was very odd. So then we go off to the wreckage where you have the police, the FBI, whatever they would be, and I don't know who these people are. They're there, and I'm like, okay,
What's that lady look like? That actress from the 80s?
Oh, Grace, I know. It's exactly who.
Grace,
Grace Slick. It's
Grace
like
Jones.
Grace Jones. I'm thinking Grace Slick is from Jefferson Starship. Grace Jones, who I never took a liking to. She looked like she would she looked like she'd beat the shit out of me. That's what I thought. And sometimes that's okay. And then, but you end up where it's her and, Jimmy Olsen. It's very odd. And they're there taking pictures and talking. And all I could think of is, who are they? Like, what's going on with this detective? And I think that when you do this, and Ben Percy, this feels like already that he's using that Ghost Rider as kind of the blueprint, because it kind of feels like that.
It feels a lot like that.
And you said body horror, and right away when you said that, I'm like, Yeah, I kind of got
even
the idea.
His Helverine has the same feeling. This has the. They all have the same.
I forgot about Helverine. It does. It has the same feeling where you have
Ghost
the regular
Rider
character.
Definitely did.
Yeah, and Ghost Rider, he doesn't quite know what's going on. He's doing this, and then you get that agent that comes in. That was that one that Jason thought was, that's going to be played up for laughs. I'm like,
the
Talia War Robe.
Talia, yeah. Remember that they had that issue where they went to the hotel and the guy was spying on him or something?
Yeah.
And
I think of that all the time.
Yeah.
That issue, I didn't even love it, but it kind of weirded me out.
I get the same feeling with this.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It's like a weird...
And I'm telling you, Kingpin doing that it has that feel.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up going to, Grace Jones and this other kid who's getting very upset at the seagulls. You see
I did like that the seagulls were attacking.
You see the seagulls don't really attack her.
They're going for the
afraid
body.
of her, right? And they're
going for the body.
Yeah, and then these they're trying to get them away. And
I thought that was pretty
out.
funny. I don't know.
Yeah, the one guy is getting it bad. But again, like the whole thing of this, though, is, hey, what happened here? I don't know. There was a mass murder. We don't know who did it. Maybe we can figure this out. They ended up destroying the fentanyl. Oh, no, there's going to be a gang war. It's almost pretty much narration done through just this weird, almost wooden dialogue at points.
The gang war thing's interesting because I get a feeling that this could potentially be better than the Spider-Man gang war, at least. Yeah, so
we won't get that ninja clan. Wait, remember when it was just like every time the map changed and we had no idea why?
Yeah.
But then we go off to Tombstone. Once they mention this, then we figure out, okay, Tombstone's involved here. I guess at this point, he's decided to get into fentanyl because the knockoff soda scam didn't work out for him. Nonsense. That's what the funny thing is. This is like the most vicious Tombstone that we've seen when in ASM he's making knockoff soda and wants Peter to take rides with him in his limo. I'm like, this Tombstone means business.
It's also a much scarier looking Tombstone, too.
Yeah, he's got like
skeletal,
full-out shark teeth and Skeletor deal.
Yeah, the one we've been getting with John Romita Jr. lately, or whoever that was, is just not right.
No, especially lately.
That fill-in artist that we had.
Yeah, that was weird. Yep. He looked odd. He looked like he was like 12. So you end up, he looks pretty bad here. So he ends up where he's got some things. I mean, he's got, a bunch of the different gangs you can see from.
He's got Mr. Negative's gang.
The Mr. Negative gang is where you can see. So that's a pretty good play, even though you can't really tell what the other guys are from. You know that since the Negative is there, you would have
the lady in yellow was something. I remember them. They were something.
Yeah, they were those ninjas.
Ninja, yeah.
That was the Ninja Clan.
Yep.
That they were. I wish I could remember what they were. But yeah, they're there, and then you got Johnny, Johnny bowling outfit. And you end up having Tombstone say, listen, I'm going to ask you for this. Tell me and I'll kill you. If you don't like it, I'm going to cut you piece by piece, which he starts doing. I'm guessing nobody told him anything because they end up in pieces.
You're either dying or you're dying. That was really the option.
You can die quick.
And dude, they're hanging from meat hooks. Yeah, that's pretty body horror to me. I don't know.
This is kind of the body horror.
This is gross.
It reminds me of the Ghost Rider. It fully reminds me of that. But it is gross.
And Helverine, too, were like stitched up Dakin back together and stuff. It's like a lot of this weird...
Yeah, he likes that stuff. Somebody better check in on him. Somebody check that guy.
He seems like a normal guy. He doesn't seem like crazy or something. I don't know.
See him out in the woods in Oregon or something. I see this thing and he's walking around. The guy thinks he's Wolverine at points. He's walking around with an axe and stuff. I think they might check him in. But you end up where Tombstone wants to know what's going on. Don't think he finds out. I don't even know that they really know. I mean, you ended up having Frank kind of, go. He did have the similar, like somebody should have just said a skull or something, and then they'd realize. But you then go, and this old lady, now seriously, at this one point, I'm getting so nervous that if frickin' alligator's going to come up and eat this lady.
Either that or she's going to step on a used heroin needle. Look at this beach.
Fentanyl. The fentanyl's washed up. She's there. She's dead. I'm telling you, though, it looks like that lady in Florida that was near that lagoon with that little dog and an alligator came and ate her, and it still haunts me.
Your favorite video.
Oh, it's the worst. It shocked the hell out of me. Now, that's body horror. But you end up
Nobody's going to this beach. I mean, Brooklyn's not known for their beaches. Like, what the heck is this?
No. This isn't, down the way, they're not having concerts and stuff here.
Where's all the Jordans Nikes and Jordans that's washed up on the shore like they did back in the day?
What you need to do, though, is you pan out and you actually see that they're recording a Debbie Gibson video. They did one at like I forget what it was, like Long Beach or something. They ended up recording a video, and my buddy got in the video. He just walked onto the set. You can watch it now. It makes me laugh every time. This guy Ken, he's acting like a fool in it too, but he's like the jokester of the video.
Different times.
Yeah, he just walked on the set. So ate a lot of food, he said too. And then they got him on the bus because part of the bus ride was this video. But when they got to the other place, they had to then hitchhike back to the car because they were like miles away. But yeah, this beach, there's a bike. I mean, crazy stuff. But Frank is washed up on the beach. Little dog goes over. This lady's odd right away. Like, she's like, Rocco, get back here. You can obviously see a body there at that point. And then she goes, oh, is he dead? Like, she doesn't seem like a weird play of not like right away saying, oh my God, are you alive? Are you okay? She just says, oh Lord, oh my gracious, is he dead? And then you get what looks like, when he throws up, it looks like he's throwing up bricks and tongue.
Disgusting, man. But like,
and it's everything. It looks like that, like he couldn't have possibly been alive with all that stuff.
He swallowed all that water.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But the idea in it is very odd. Like maybe he shouldn't have lived. So you end up.
But it's interesting though, because if this were a Ghost Rider, that lady would be like a demon or some sort of monster.
Yeah. Instead, she's just a weird old lady.
As of now, she's just a regular old lady, but who the hell knows?
She's an old lady who better have a good insurance plan on that phone. I'd be so freaking pissed. There's no way that I'd help this guy. She's there. I'll help you. It's funny. She has a flip phone.
And she's got to be 95 years old.
Yeah, she's old. She's like, I don't know how to work this TV. She ends up where she has it.
He grabs it out of her hand. He just tosses it in the ocean.
Do you see her when she's looking at it, though? She really is confused to how to use that phone. She's like, I've never used this thing. She goes, I'll get you help. Frank, all you do is say, I don't want help. And give her a chance. He rips the phone out of her hand, crushes it, and throws it in the ocean.
My grandson gave me that.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. And I had a message.
My phones were on there.
I had a message from him, and he died in 9/11. Like, it's all over. She doesn't know how to retrieve it now. It's in the ocean. You end up where he's all a mess, throwing up what that now looks like raw meat. So he's like, no phone. Take me to your house now. She's like, oh, goodness, I didn't think these things would happen today. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, the idea, I think this lady would say, like, no. And this lady, like, look at her. She's not as old as Aunt May, but she's pretty old. What does she have to lose? Usually you have these old women that'll be whippersnappers. They'll be like, shut your mouth and hit them with a cane or something.
Look at this derelict shitbox that she lives in.
I thought you meant Frank, because he's pretty much a derelict shitbox.
No, but she go to her house
she has
and
nothing.
It's spray painted. Her garage door is spray painted with Amazing Spider-Man 124 on it.
Yeah, because there's comic hoodlums, the young toughs. That's code for ass. I don't know. I was going to make it's odd. I mean, it is. It's basically
and look at her house too. Like, it's just one window and one door. Because
she lives next to Lawrence Fishburne and Boys in the Hood. She's there in Compton.
It's Friday after Friday or something.
Yeah, they're there. Like, her name's Felicia. You end up where she's in this house. Obviously, it doesn't have shit. And Frank threw her phone into the ocean.
She lives next to a factory. Look, she's got smokestacks behind her.
Yeah, look at I guess that's the problem.
God.
That's her husband died. Now she has some strapping young man in her house. Like, what do the people say? But yeah, he goes to her house and then proceeds to bloody up everything. The idea, just say somebody did see this, and you maybe think like something's going on, calls the police. Frank leaves, and then this lady has to explain why there's all this blood and bullets and shit in that.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a shit.
I think it's her fault for not having a shower. Who takes baths like this?
An old lady. She probably needs the Epsom salts. She's got, she's their joints.
She's getting in and out of that tub. Yeah,
you see that thing? That's what Zach's putting in here. And me and Tanya are losing our minds. We don't want a bath. We wanted a walk-in shower.
Well, you got to have both.
We have this nonsense. So what we're going to end up where we got to make or buy a shower. It's going to be a hoot, I'll tell you. But there's Frank. Also, he's got the handprint on the back, and I think that people would more think that that's like, man, somebody really got bloodied up and gave him a high five on the back. But
what is that from?
The hand. I think it's the hand deal from him being part of the hand.
Oh, really? They're still going with that?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a lot of it isn't really explained because look, when he cleans up, he's still got that shit on his back. So that's there. And so he ends up, he says to the lady, like, why not keep going? She's like, can I help you? First off, the place is a wreck. And old ladies like this, they don't go well with that. I remember my grandmother would have fucking had a flip.
He's touching every tile possible.
I would walk into that house, pristine, nothing wrong. And my grandmother would find something to say that I messed up. This lady just doesn't care. And he goes, get me vodka? 2 hustlers? The guy just is demanding all this stuff. And I'm like, what is this? It's such a weird scene. He says, vodka, tweezers, lighter, needle and thread, hurry. And I'm like, okay, vodka, that's weird, but maybe this lady's a drunk. Tweezers, lady would have tweezers, maybe not a lighter, but maybe she does a little pot, I don't know. And she has medicinal marijuana. And you end up where needle and thread, yeah. And then she comes in and has to say, the vodka was my husband's, but he's dead. I'm like,
that looks like moonshine to me, because why is it in a corked bottle?
I don't know.
That?
It's the corked bottle. It's probably because her husband died in the war. And I'm talking World War I. Like, this guy is like, I fought the Germans originally. But yeah, it's corked. Maybe it is moonshine. It'd be funny, but it's just grain. Yeah. Frank starts chugging it, and then he starts fighting people. Like every party I went to at college, at the WVU, when we would go and play a college party that was a grape and grain party, they'd call it. You knew there was fights and you're never getting paid. If you're the band, you get paid beforehand. There's the tip. We never did. But you end up where this lady's like, here, I don't drink the stuff, but it was my husband's. And he's like, listen, too much information. The idea, it's such an odd thing that Ben Percy can't even have this lady be a drinker.
Well, she wants to establish that she's single in case something happens. That's what I'm saying.
That, and also, that the husband's not there, and, whatever happened. She's like, I killed him and buried him in the backyard.
Did you see that gaping wound? It looks a little sexy. It looks a little sexy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like an axe wound, and I've heard that terminology before. I just like at one point he walked in and kind of fell and has a big damn handprint on the toilet.
Oh, God.
Why is there a big handprint, a bloody handprint? He doesn't even care. Right? So that's why the vodka is just going to drink so he doesn't care. He's an asshole. So then the only reason, I'm telling you, the only reason that you have a cork on the bottle is because he ends up he almost looks like Wolverine doing it. That's something Wolverine does all the time.
Every time.
Where he bites the cork and spits it out. You don't need that. This lady, if somebody ends up saying, well, Jim and Matt, there are vodkas with there's no way this lady's getting that, right?
No.
This lady's getting Smirnoff at the most. It's going to be pop off or something.
Just imagine you go to somebody's house and you hand him a bottle and he takes the cork and just spits it across your room.
Maybe
what kind
right
of manners does this guy have?
Right, he has none. So he starts chugging it. Then he pours
it's going
it
all
on
over
the
his face
wound.
too, and it's disgusting.
Over. It's like Frank Drebin. He has a drinking problem. It's all over. Then it looks like he might smash the bottle on the ground.
Yeah, I think he does.
Right? And then I swear to God, he took out either his eyeball or a mushroom, but he gets
it's a mushroom.
It looks like a mushroom, but again, it's the slug. But he ends up where he heats the tweezers, and then he starts ripping out things. It looks like, I guess, it looked like he was shocked there was a bullet in there, but he takes the bullet out. This lady is probably throwing up or passed out right now. But he says, hey, after all this bullshit, if I pass out, you're going to have to finish me up. I wanted the lady to say, what the hell do you think I am? I'm 800 years old. I'm not going to stitch you up. It'd be funny if he wakes up and he's got like embroidered on his chest, welcome home or something.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to our home.
Yeah.
And his face has a macrame fucking owl thing on him. But then we go off and Kingpin's watching things. He's looking at the people, the detectives and things, looking at the boat. He has this councilwoman, again, not really a shock when you see her from the back and she's looking like she's very Satan, like she's been given Drano.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And boy, tons of blood just for the sake of it. Really nothing. And says, you've been bad. Again, he's cleaning shit up his way, but in a new way, he says. It's personal. He's going to go. And I think he's coming back as, like I said, an angel of revenge and death or something that he's going to claim. And he says, I, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, I'm seeing to it personally, says New York won't be stained and compromised any longer. Again, Kingpin, I don't know if you remember when you were a kid. It wasn't exactly, clean living. It was pretty bad. So you end up where then we go back to Tombstone, who just points to a barrel full of body parts. You got the cart. This guy comes in. He's like, what do you want me to do, boss? He's like, get them out of here. And this guy like throwing people's face
disgusting
shit around. Yeah. And then Kingpin thinks it's hilarious. And what you need to do then, because it does look like they put in, you need to see that they're also running a hot dog factory. And he's making that. Or this might be ingredient 3 in a soda pop empire. That stupid shit. But then we go back, and it's not like Frank is even caring about cleaning up this place. It's a wreck. Blood everywhere. And then this lady comes in, and Frank's there. You got this huge guy. He's
massive, man. Look at his legs.
Massive. And he's got I'm sure that when this happened, he didn't really tell her. She probably spent 5 hours trying to scrub that damn handprint off of his back, thinking that it was just the blood handprint. And she couldn't do it. Probably drove her insane. But she's also stitched him up. She probably extracted more bullets. How do you explain this? The lady's just doing it. And then says, I need to know your name. You could at least tell me that. Why didn't she call the police? I just don't get it. But she says, what's your name? He goes, I don't know. How does a guy not know his name? I guess when they put a bullet in your brain. Oh, it wasn't a bullet. That's the thing. She says that he's just saying that, but she seems to be, a medic all of a sudden. She does know that she didn't do anything with surgery to the head.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Frank's feeling, and it's not really his head, it's at the base of his neck, I guess is what he's referring to. But again, he's just like, well, I guess, but he just doesn't know. I would think that, if you're in a boat, get shot, you have an axe wound or possibly something else on your shoulder. You also end up with, you might have a concussion. You might not remember things, or she should shut her mouth because she might be prying a little too much when Frank's like, I'm not there to tell you shit. But it's like, oh, you didn't get shot in the head. It's like, well, what are you talking about? Well, when I went to fix you up, I ended up where that was already stitched in. And then suddenly you see that Kingpin's watching all this and watching that he has pretty much a Suicide Squad like whatever on there that he can maybe hit and shock and
or control
end up going. And end up where maybe it hits the ones, the rage center, and it makes him do this and it controls him. And he just suddenly looks like he's flashing gang signs. He starts screaming. At one point, the way that was, I swear to God, there was too many fingers. I thought it was like some weird AI thing. But he's like, I don't know. Man, I thought I had and he starts screaming. She's like, what's wrong? Get the hell out of there, lady. She's yelling, this is what she's upset about. What's happening? What do you mean what's happening? A guy with gashing wounds and bullets came into your house, demanded shit, ended up passing out. You had to stitch him up. He's got blood everywhere, and you're upset because he yelled and fell on the ground. And you have where Kingpin says you've rested long enough. The guy didn't get any rest. Also, it's a weird look because of the shadows. Looks like Kingpin is like Robert Duvall. It looks like he's got hair.
Yeah.
It threw me off. It threw me off completely. But he's got the Punisher. The setup seems to be that Kingpin's going about things very viciously and different, but he's also going to have the Punisher there to do stuff for him, which some people, I saw this one wackadoo with this review for this that gave it a 1, but said that that's where you'll end up by the end, that Frank fights through this and then he'll be woke and this and that. I'm like, get out of town. I can't stand, the idea that something is good or bad is one thing, but when you're like, by issue 10, I bet you it's going to be this, so I'm going to give this a 1. I think that guy should stop reading.
This is better than a 1, buddy. Hate to tell you.
I'm having fun talking about the nonsense with this old lady. I hope he doesn't just leave her. I hope that now he lives there and maybe they become like an odd couple.
Yeah, and remember Deadpool had that blind lady he lived with and that kind of thing?
Like that sort of thing. I want Frank to be walking the dog a lot, Rocco.
And she's real sassy, too.
You named the dog, we know the name of the dog. I want her to get more and more sassy.
Yeah, more and more.
And also she only knows how to cook like 2 things, and that would be tuna noodle casserole, because old ladies love that shit. And then also like some fucking stew. And Frank will love it.
And fruitcake.
Oh, yeah. She'll have fruitcake and ribbon candy. She'll be giving him, and he'll go to pick up the ribbon candy in the bowl, and it'll all be attached.
And like black licorice.
80p. Oh, my God. Stork and her. Yeah, she'll like black licorice. And I want her to sit there and keep talking about, like, back in 32, during the Depression, that would have been a meal for 20 people. And then Frank gets mad. And then he gets activated, and she's like, what's happening? She just keeps yelling that because she's also, sadly, has dementia.
And her old husband comes back, and he has to beat the crap out of him.
Well, that's the thing. Her husband, she's claiming he's dead because she's got dementia. He just went to get groceries. He's come back, and he's like, where the fuck is my vodka? And now you got to fight. And he's like, that was not vodka.
She's got her, like, a deadbeat son that still lives in the house.
Oh, that'd be great, too. He's there. He thinks he wants to be an influencer. he comes in, he's like, yo, yo, yo. He's like, see, this would be great. Now we're doing what that asshole was doing, but we're making it better. So you end up where it looks like you can activate the Punisher. It says next, activate Punisher. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't mind it. I thought it was okay. Some of the stuff it's kind of a goofy setup, but it's style. It's his style, and it's the number one issue. It gives you some info more on you see Kingpin just being vicious. He says, I'm back. Tombstone's doing his crazy stuff. Frank, you see, is being, so the whole thing with that fentanyl, he just ended up, why he can't understand what happened and remember is because he was activated to go and kill people and blow up that boat. It even says in the thing that it almost like he feels like he has to do something. He's like, I'm there and I have to do this. He shoots people because he knows he has to. So that was like the kind of wink wink at the mind control. So it's okay. It was okay. I don't think it needs to be or should be red band. I think you just put it as a normal thing. That's a gimmick to me.
So do you think the Kingpin had him blowing up the stuff at the beginning?
Yeah,
then? That was
I think that's why he doesn't. And then when you get done, boom, he's not, and he fell into the water and whatever. So yeah, I think that was all Kingpin cleaning up New York. Fentanyl coming in, he wants to destroy it, and then he goes after that priest. The priest, and then even the lady seems small for Kingpin, but I guess he's just cleaning shit up. Then he looks like Robert Duvall. Yeah. And then Punisher there with that smart haircut at the end looks like Henry Cavill. Yeah. Which I don't know. He might be an okay Punisher.
He would be a good
people
Punisher.
Be like, fuck that. But yeah, because they like that. What is it? Frank Grillo? Is that who it is?
Well, Frank Grillo's in Peacemaker and all that.
Okay. I get.
He's Rick Flag Sr.
Okay.
He was the guy? Crossbones. Frank Grillo was Crossbones.
Okay. Yeah, who's the guy who plays I know that people love him in the Marvel TV show, the Punisher stuff. That guy, people.
Oh yeah, the guy from The Walking Dead. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, people like him. So,
Shane from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, asshole. But yeah, so with that, what would you give this?
It was fun to talk about. I'd probably, I'm happy to see Frank relatively back. Ben Percy, I'm okay with this stuff. I'd give it a 7.5.
I'm giving it a 7.5.
Yeah.
I think that if
it's a good start to something.
Here's the thing. It's already, at least after one issue, one of the better books at Marvel. There's not a lot of good books. So you might as well jump on now. I said, the thing that I worry about with Ben Percy is things get a little boring. You start to extend some stuff. Things don't tie up as quick. And then it's not even like it's not like a Philip Kenny Johnson who dives into lore. It's just that Ben Percy just likes to take his time, and sometimes the stories aren't that exciting, and I kind of get bored. But
I think it's a similar style to Philip Kennedy Johnson, because I think the Hulk book is a lot like a lot of the stuff that Ben Percy's done.
I'm telling you, the beginning of that Hulk deal,
Ghost Rider
reminded me of Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
just that one shot kind of.
They're similar.
Yeah, and wandering town to town. I don't think Frank's going to do that, but what's going to happen is you're going to have that play where he activates, does some bad stuff, and then ends up not realizing. So he's being Punisher, but the fun thing is he's doing the punishing for Kingpin, which he wouldn't be down with. So, but he's still killing people that he normally would. I mean, gangsters, guys coming in with fentanyl, I can see Punisher going after them and taking them down. It's just that nobody likes to have to do things against their will, and he's really not going to like it. So it's a cool setup to see what Kingpin's going to do with them. Obviously, eventually probably going after Tombstone. But in the meantime, he's going to also want to go after Kingpin once he finds out. So that's a pretty cool play. I think that's pretty cool. And the way things are set up, he was dead, but it's also Punisher. It's not Peter Parker who goes off to Reed Richards and says, hey, can you figure this out for me? Can you figure out what's wrong? Hey, I got this thing. Frank's kind of Frank, so he's just going to have to figure it out. So we'll see. But it's kind of cool. I like it. You have some things in the back I did not read, but I looked because I thought that it was going to be Ben Percy talking, but I think it's
the editor.
Yeah, it's the editor. What is he?
At least it's not Nick Lowe.
What is he have, really? Nick Lowe would be like, can you believe it? I was crying when I read and I saw that old lady because my grandmother had a dog like that. He'd have some wackadoo thing. So, but if it was Ben Percy that wrote something in the back, I would have read it to give a little info and stuff like that. But though at that point, Ben Percy will come up with weird stuff. I remember the Predator thing where he's like, I always like Predator since me and my buddies played Predator in the backyard. I'm like, who plays Predator in the backyard?
Nobody.
No. It's weird. I called him on that. I said that was cool. But that's it. We got to about 50 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But we might add some things I don't know.
There was an Ultimate X-Men that came out, Ultimate. That's Jason normally, but he's on vacation.
Last week. And
that was last week?
Yeah, that was last week.
Oh,
so
okay.
We just
never mind then.
It. Yeah. I didn't even read it yet, but I heard it wasn't great. But I don't know. That was from Sully, though, and he yells about things.
Sus.
He yells about stuff, and it's sus. So with that, though, we're done. So I'm assuming that it's it for the deal. Sorry we didn't have more books, but the whole deal with this week, there's a lot of scheduling issues, as always. So we'll see what goes on. Maybe we'll add something like Red Hulk next week if there's nothing else, because me and Gray do enjoy that book. But Marvel has a lot of books, but are they all worthwhile? I don't know. But that is it. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me, Matt. And we will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.